JBNN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, cop kills alleged gunman in attempted hold-up. One of two gunmen reportedly attempted to hold up a policeman in Greater Portmore, St. Catherine on Tuesday night was shot and later died in hospital. Simeon Smith, 27, a carpenter from Seaview Gardens, Kingston 11, was pronounced dead shortly after it was dropped off at the Kingston Public Hospital KPH by unknown individuals believed to be his cronies. It was reported that about 10 p.m., the policeman was standing along the roadway in Gortuka waiting for a friend when Smith and another man walked up, brandished guns, and ordered him not to move. The policeman pulled his licensed firearm and discharged 6 rounds at both men, who ran to a white Toyota Probox motor car that was waiting nearby. Smith was transported to the KPH late in the night in a white Toyota Probox, suffering from gunshot wounds. He was admitted but succumbed to his injuries while undergoing treatment. On Wednesday, November 2, the policeman identified Smith as one of the 2 men who had accosted him. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is probing the incident. Construction worker murdered in Lucy. A construction worker was shot and killed in Lucy, Hanover on Wednesday morning. He has been identified as 22-year-old Cruz Reed of a Lucy address. According to reports, about 7:45 a.m., Cruz was waiting for colleagues along Seaview Drive when he was attacked by armed men and shot multiple times. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, the wounded man was rushed to the Noel Holmes Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. 37 people have been murdered in the parish of Hanover since the start of the year. Man shot dead in St. Elizabeth. A St. Elizabeth man was shot and killed in Newtown near Black River in the parish on Wednesday night. Sources named the deceased as Omar Arnold, otherwise called Bull, a resident of Spring Park in the parish. Earlier this year, Arnold was reportedly injured in a shooting incident linked to a gang conflict, which left 2 people dead and others wounded. A police report said about 10:15 p.m., residents of Lovers Lane in Newtown heard loud explosions. The police were summoned to the community, where Arnold was found suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Statistics from the police show that up to October 29, St. Elizabeth recorded 32 murders since the start of the year, when compared to 19 for the corresponding period last year. St. Elizabeth police charge mentally ill man with murder. The St. Elizabeth police have charged a mentally ill man with murder and wounding with intent following an incident at Gutters last month. He is 41-year-old Craig Wright, otherwise called Sixpack, of Montpelier, Manchester. Wright is accused of killing 32-year-old labourer Gary Harriott, otherwise called Titus, of Gutters, and wounding another man. According to a report, about 1:30 in the afternoon of October 22, Harriott intervened when he saw Wright chop a man with a machete. Harriott fell, and it is reported that Wright used a piece of iron to hit him on his head. Wright was also injured after he was set upon by residents. The 3 men were taken to hospital for treatment. Harriott died a day later. Bus driver dies following crash along Bogwalk Gorge. One of the coaster bus drivers injured in a motor vehicle collision in the Bogwalk Gorge in St. Catherine Tuesday night has died. Courtney Alexander died at the Spanish Town Hospital on Wednesday morning. His hand was severed in the incident. Alexander was the only occupant in his bus. The other bus driver remains in hospital. The incident occurred shortly after 10 p.m. when the coaster bus slammed into another that was transporting vendors and commodities from Kingston to Falmouth. About 15 people on the bus along with goods. The passengers were treated for minor injuries. November 9 trial date set for driver of garbage truck that crushed primary school student. The driver of the garbage truck that overturned killing Cloncarty Primary School student Benjamin Bear 3 years ago is to go on trial in the Home Circuit Court on November 9. Alton Brooks, who is charged with manslaughter, was expected to plead guilty yesterday. However, when the matter was called up, his lawyer, Davion Vassell, indicated that he started further discussions with his client. Bail was then extended by Justice Leighton Pusey for the 9 Miles, Bull Bay, St. Andrew resident. Reports are that about 4:30 p.m., Benjamin was at school when the privately operated garbage truck that had been picking up trash on the school compound, which was left unmanned, went into motion, hitting a taxi, and then overturned on the 7-year-old boy on October 28, 2019. He died on the spot. A woman who was in the car was injured. Brooks fled the scene. He was later arrested and subsequently charged. Government MPs sit with George Wright during parliamentary address. At least 2 government members of parliament crossed the floor yesterday afternoon and sat close to independent lawmaker George Wright as he made his contribution to the State of the Constituency debate in Gordon House. Traditionally, MPs on both sides of the political divide usually occupy seats around their colleagues in a show of support while they are making presentation to the State of the Constituency debate. Wright usually sits alone and apart from opposition members, but earlier yesterday, government MPs Anne-Marie Vance and Tovia Hamilton walked over to the opposition benches and sat close to their former Jamaica Labour Party JLP colleague. The Westmoreland Central MP resigned from the JLP in 2021 amid controversy over a video showing a man beating a woman with his fist and a stool. Wright and his partner, Tanisha Singh, had reported an April 6, 2021 squabble that coincided with the video that went viral days later. Neither Wright nor Singh cooperated with the police, thus ending the investigation. Way cleared for U.S. woman on manslaughter charge in Hanover to go home. A judge in the Hanover Parish Court in Sandy Bay yesterday ordered the return of the passport of an American woman charged with manslaughter arising from a fatal crash. Presiding Judge Natisha Fairclough-Ilton also ruled that the bail conditions, including reporting to the police, imposed on Ayana Montano of Florida in the USA, was charged with 2 counts of manslaughter, be lifted. This clears the way for Montano to return home. Montano was ordered to return to court on January 2, 2023, and the bail was extended. The court heard that about 4:50 a.m. on Saturday, October 1, Montano was driving a white 2020 Honda City motor car from the direction of Hopewell, Hanover, towards Montego Bay, St. James. It is further reported that on reaching a section of the Roundhill Main Road in the vicinity of the main gate of the Roundhill Hotel, she failed to keep to her left and crashed into a motorcycle. The driver and his pillion, later identified as 32-year-old Winston Holness of Morris District in Hanover, and another man identified only as Shay of a St. James address, sustained injuries and were later pronounced dead at hospital. Montana and a male occupant in her car also sustained injuries and were transported to the Noel Hospital in Lucy, where they were treated and later released. Montana was later charged. For the love of your mother, Supreme Court Judge Justice Leighton Pusey on Wednesday said he hoped the age-old affinity Jamaican men have for their mothers will be reason enough to accuse murderer Simeon Sutherland to turn himself in after he absconded en route to his trial, which resulted in his mother, who stood surety for him, being taken into custody. Sutherland, for whom a manhunt has been triggered, is facing charges of murder and misprision of felony in connection with the stabbing death of former People's National Party Member of Parliament Dr. Linville Bloomfield at the politician's Pansy Gardens home in Portland on February 2, 2019. Sutherland had been granted bail in the sum of $800,000 by the parish court with conditions, which included a stop order being placed on him and his travel documents surrendered, along with a daily reporting requirement with the police. A curfew order was also in place for him, and he was not to be seen in the parish of Portland for the duration of the matter. The accused, who as part of his bail conditions was residing with his parents, had on Wednesday morning met with his attorney Peter Champagny, KC, and was reportedly en route to the Supreme Court with his parents, where the trial was to begin, when he disappeared after exiting the vehicle. On Wednesday, the trial judge, in making several orders in respect of Sutherland, who is to be arrested on sight, said, "Jamaican men are alleged to, if there's one thing that they usually treasure, it's your mother. So maybe the gentleman might consider the circumstances severe for his mother. It is not just a financial penalty, but she may be before the court in circumstances, both mother and father, in the meantime." Sutherland's attorney revealed that, based on the discussions that morning, he was beyond surprised that his client had made off, said he had every confidence that he would have been here at the appointed time. Champagny, whose request to have Sutherland's mother tell the court what transpired was denied by the judge, went on to explain that according to her, the routine would be that they'd drop the accused at the entrance of the court, and they would move their vehicle to go and park, and then come across while he registers at the entrance. This morning, what obtained, based on what the surety is saying, is that the routine was the same as before, save and expect when they dropped him off at the entrance of the court, he did not come inside the courtyard. He went southerly, and as a result of that, they thought it suspicious, drove him down to speak with him, but he made his way, the attorney told the tribunal. Champagny said he had no intention of continuing to represent Sutherland further and sought leave of the court to be released from the arrangement. Your identity will be protected under gun amnesty, Chang tells Jamaicans. The Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, has sought to assure the nation that persons who hand over guns and ammunition during the 2-week gun amnesty that takes effect on Saturday, November 5, will have their identities protected. Chung gave the assurance on Tuesday in the House of Representatives as he unveiled the amnesty, which will run until midnight on Saturday, November 19. I want to emphasize that the aim of this measure is not to reveal the identities of the persons who comply with the amnesty, Chung said, after tabling and opening the debate on the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Firearms Amnesty Order 2022. The order outlines that licensed firearm holders in possession of expired authorizations may surrender their weapons to the Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA. Additionally, members of the general public may surrender a gun and or ammunition to any sub-officer or senior sub-officer on duty at any police station. They may also submit same to any designated officer at any FLA location or to an attorney at law on behalf of an individual seeking the amnesty. The attorney will deliver the gun or ammunition to the nearest police station. The Security Minister warned persons to make use of the amnesty in light of the fact that the new Firearms Act, with significantly stiffer penalties of up to life imprisonment for gun crimes, took effect on Tuesday of this week. I'm urging those possessing illegal firearms or ammunition to make full use of the amnesty, because when it expires on November 19, 2022, those who refuse to surrender their guns and ammunition, once convicted, will face stiff penalties, Chang said. In justifying the amnesty, despite pessimism in some quarters about whether it will be successful, the minister pointed out that they have been used successfully around the world as an operational tool to reduce the high levels of armed violence resulting from the proliferation of guns and ammunition. He also pointed out that over the last 25 years, Jamaica recorded on average 1,270 murders annually, the vast majority being committed with illegal guns. The firearm is a weapon of choice for murderers and other acts of crime and armed violence in Jamaica. The proliferation of illegal firearms continues to hinder national growth and advancement and has become the biggest threat to citizens' peace and security. Despite the challenges, he pointed out that the security forces have maintained a steady rate of firearm seizures over the years. Since 2018, the security forces have taken more than 3,200 illegal firearms from the streets and in excess of 53,000 rounds of ammunition. Each year, they have seized upwards of 625 firearms. In fact, as at October 31, 2022, a total of 652 firearms have been seized. This represents an 11% increase over the 585 recorded for the similar period in 2021, Chang told the House. In sports news, Clarendon College and Frome into Issa D Cup quarterfinals. Former champions Clarendon College and Frome Technical have taken the first two quarterfinal spots in the Issa da Costa Cup football competition after wins over Yorkcastle High and Ross Isai respectively in their round of 16 games played on Wednesday, November 2. The teams were scoring back-to-back victories and both improved to 6 points from 2 games and cannot be caught by the other 2 teams in the group. Clarendon College came from an early goal down to beat Yorkcastle High 2-1 at Droxall, while Frome Technical edged Ross Isai 1-0 at Londalo Sports Complex and will meet at Glenmere on Saturday to decide the group winners. At Droxall, Yorkcastle were beaten 2-0 by Frome Technical on Saturday, took the lead in the 7th minute through an own goal, but Clarendon College rallied to lead 2-1 at half-time. Christopher Hull scored the equaliser in the 26th minute, and Devontae Hodges gave the former winners the lead in the 37th minute. Frome Technical advanced to the quarterfinals with a second-half goal from Stavon Spence against their long-time rivals, as they were beating Ross Isai a second time this season. Both teams had met twice in the first round, and Frome Technical won 3-0 in the first game and drew the second game 0-0. Also on Wednesday, Group 4 remained wide open after both games ended in draws. Glenmere High and Manning School ended 0-0 in their top-of-the-zone clash and are both on 4 points, while St. Elizabeth Technical Stats and Edwin Allen drew 1-1 their first point in the round. Dante Campbell had given Stats the lead before central defender Kimalor Farron scored the equaliser for Edwin Allen. Wednesday results: Frome 1, Rossies 0, Yorkcastle 1, Clarendon College 2, Stats 1, Edwin Allen 1, Glenmere 0, Mannings 0. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.